think it went from just controlling costs to actually looking at maximizing return on the investment of a fleet. So you look more at, rather than the upfront cost and lowering that as much as possible, to what is the ROI on that vehicle that is in my fleet? And is it actually a tool that's helping me do more business?
Fleet managers have so many priorities, right? I mean, there's a lot that they're focused on. I would say the one thing that they could pay more attention to would be not accepting downtime. So, I mean, everything's all about uptime with the fleet, right? And I think we've become complacent and we accept downtime, and being strategic in terms of what else can you do differently? Can you put a shop on site that may be able to help you with your maintenance needs and keep the fleet running? Can you do maintenance after hours and maybe partner up with a supplier that will do that work after hours that will alleviate your fleet from having downtime? So I'd say not being as accepting of downtime and finding creative ways to avoid it.
I saw a vendor who was delivering frozen goods, and their truck broke down on the side of the highway outside of Boston in August. And I'm watching a crew of 5 gentlemen in business suits and ties throwing frozen food from one truck to the other in the breakdown lane on a highway outside of Boston. Not an ideal situation, but I always think to myself, with a preventative maintenance schedule that you stick to, can really help you make sure that you are taking care of your vehicles and constantly seeing them be the return on investment that you need.
We manage and maintain a lot of vehicles for a lot of clients. And one of the things we had to look at internally for our clients is embedding a quality program into our business. So, and that's not only, hey, when we go out and we do a BPM on an asset, it's repeatable, it's reliable, it's the same way every time. Not only that, but then we do the after service inspections to follow up on our quality and see how we did. So that really transformed our company into moving in the right direction around that.
So I think in the industry that Kooner serves, we've got 2 issues that we're seeing. So in the long haul heavy truck space, it's the availability of driving talent. So the truck driver shortage has been something we've been talking about for years. And I really think that it's starting to impact the industry. The flip side of that, you've got the people driving the truck, then you got the people repairing the truck. And I really think that you're seeing a lot of mechanics retire, and now we're trying to find younger people to step into that industry, and it's just not being as fruitful as we had hoped.
We look at this market and we love it, right? We love this industry, and there are so many challenges that we have, all of us collectively. There could be technician shortages, and that's one thing we really focus on, is a shortage in technicians. And you look at all the graduation rates on the trade schools and what we're doing about that. You know, we partner with trade schools to do internships and so on. From a technology standpoint, you know, we've just launched our new proprietary software, Fleet IQ. We're not selling it. It's for us personally to use as a competitive differentiator out there to make us as good as we can be for our clients. Because without our clients, without our technicians and our people, there's no Kooner.
When you're switching a model or an engine type or an upfitter, you want to make sure that you put the toe in the water first, and it still delivers the return that you're expecting. Whether it's a corporate initiative to reduce carbon footprint, benefit from an OEM trying to get a better purchase price or whatever, if you then make this wholesale shift and your fleet doesn't work the way you were anticipating or have seen it worked, and that, again, plummets the ROI.
You can plan all day long, and I think Mike Tyson has a quote where, look, you can have the best plan going into the ring, but once you get punched in the face, everything changes. You have your plan, and you're going out there, and then something happens, something goes wrong. And really the dichotomy is the fleet has to move. They have to get it done. So when you have your plans and you plan maintenance events and you're scheduling it all out, what gets in the way is the need for the client to get the job done. And no matter how much planning you have, you're going to have those situations where it's not going to go smoothly, and it's how you recover from that. But I think it's really that whole, there's a need, a basic business need that the client has to take care of their customer, and that has to happen. We've embedded AI into our fleet management software, where we now take that maintenance data and we have years of history on it, and we are now predictive and prescriptive in what we do. So we can look at down to the component level detail and anticipate a failure before it happens and maybe be proactive. And now you're being prescriptive because you say, hey, let's replace that component before you have a failure and before you break down.
So I know we've been talking about AI for years, but I think using AI as a tool with that entire disparate data set that we've got. So you've got fuel card information, you have maintenance information, you've got telematics information, you've got routing software, you've got load boards for long haul truckers. To have somebody who can look at that, and make these instantaneous decisions and determinations on the best path forward, again, to increase the profitability of that vehicle. I think that's really where we're going to see it leapfrog in the next couple of years.
So when you think about risk in fleet maintenance, I think we have a risk as an industry in that there's still a lot of resistance around AI, I would say, and not embracing it and using it to make us more efficient and effective in what we do is probably the biggest risk, is having that resistance to change, because everybody's resistant to change.
Our product that we're just launching now in the US is Fleet IQ, and it is dare I say, an AI-backed maintenance tracking platform as well as a dispatching platform for our technicians. So now you can look at it holistically, and you've got a vehicle that comes in because a tail light is out. Well, now you can say, okay, in another 30 hours, it's going to need this preventative maintenance package. You're taking the vehicle out of service that evening, so you're not impacting your fleet. You can take care of it all, so you're not taking it off the road for a second time in a couple days. So again, I think it's just using that data to run your fleet smarter is ultimately what we're trying to do at Kooner.